Hey everybody, Marty Sleva here alongside Megan Sullivan.
What's up, guys?
Megan, we are IGN's Final Fantasy fanatics.
Yes.
Which meant that we were incredibly excited when this appeared from TGS 2014. This is the brand new look at Final Fantasy 15, coming straight out of Tokyo, and holy moly, there's a lot to talk about here.
That is amazing.
There's a lot to talk about here. So we're gonna go back a little bit. We'll see exactly what the first thing is. So as you know, this is an early version. Obviously, it's a sneak peek of a work in progress.
Man, I can't wait to see the final version.
I was about to say, when you see this, you're just like, holy crap! Look how good this looks. So what is this? What is this creature we're seeing right here?
So that is an adamantoise, and they have appeared in almost every Final Fantasy game ever. And adamantoise.
I think it's adamantoise. It's like a tortoise.
Yeah, it's a giant turtle that's appeared in every Final Fantasy game, pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah. This is either appears as a boss or a big baddie. But as you can see, this immediately sets a weird tone of, why are these four dudes riding in a car, going on a road trip, and look at this insane Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing. But this is, to me, this sort of sets the tone for the entire trailer.
Right, it's a mix of like a reality we're familiar with, and complete fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also, as you could tell, like they're not used to this thing, so it's not like
not at all.
Yeah, so they're traveling in some sort of weird unknown realms. They're not used to seeing these gigantic sort of ancient creatures popping up out of nowhere.
I mean, can you imagine that you're going on a road trip and all of a sudden you look to your left and a giant mountain starts to move and it's an enormous tortoise?
Yeah, so that's terrifying. Obviously, Square Enix. We're at Final Fantasy 15. You can hear the amazing music by Yoko Shimomura, who did the soundtrack for, man, she's old school. She did Street Fighter 2, she did Super Mario RPG, she did Kingdom Hearts.
She's super phenomenal.
Yeah, really great stuff.
All right,
so right here we get our sort of our road trip crew. So we're opening up on Noctis right here, doing his stretchy stretch after waking up. He's our main character. Do we know anything about Noctis so far?
So we know that he's the prince of a mafia-like royal family. We know that all his road trip buddies are his friends, and they're sort of related to the family in different ways. So if we kind of look, if they pan out, we sort of look at who is who. So we've got...
So we got Tattoo Arms here.
Tattoo Arms is Gladiolus.
Gladiolus, who's sort of
like a brother,
mentor.
his
brother. He's got sleeve tats.
Yep.
So he knows what he's doing. Who do we got in Shotgun? I guess Japanese Shotgun.
Japanese Shotgun is a walking Gatsby hair color commercial. That's Prompto. That's Prompto, and he is sort of a good buddy. He's not part of the royal family. I think he's from a poor family.
Okay.
He's sort of a playboy, kind of goofy, and he uses weapons like guns and stuff, which is actually forbidden.
Oh,
in the Kingdom of Lucas,
okay.
So that's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic right there.
And then who do we have in Driver? American Shotgun.
American Shotgun is Ignis.
Who's that's Noctis's kind of driver, personal bodyguard.
Yeah, he's sort of I think he's a strategist of some kind.
Okay.
So he's really smart. So there you go. You've got your.
You got your foursome. You also have, so you mentioned here, they're listening on the radio. King Regis is Noctis's father.
Yes.
Enter Albersap, you can assume is.
He
the leader of the other kingdom. So there's these two warring factions.
Right.
They come together to hopefully sign some sort of a peace treaty.
Yeah, they have some sort of Cold War going on because Noctis's kingdom is the only kingdom left with a crystal.
With crystal, which you will see, he's able to use magic, as you will see soon when the actual battles start. Okay, so here we are. So this is, so first off, we have these enemies, the Garulas, which these were back in Final Fantasy V. They were sort of passive enemies out in the wild, where if you would meet them in battle, they would flee right away. So they seem like they're just sort of livestock, but you know what? As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to try to kill them anyways.
Exactly. And what I love about this is that sort of combination of like old school Final Fantasy enemies meets this sort of more modern action-based role playing.
I completely agree. And again, you see here on this road trip, like they're amazed by these things. So this is, they're kind of discovering these magical things as we're discovering them.
You know what I really like is how it reminds me so much of like Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yep.
It reminds me a little bit of Monster Hunter.
Yep. I mean, these amazing, massive, open, wilderness worlds. And this is sort of a similar setting that we saw when the game was, back when it was Versus 13, on the old gen consoles. We saw battles like this, but obviously this looks so much more gorgeous.
Yeah.
And some really interesting sort of combat things going on with, as far as we could tell, it seems like it's real-time combat, like Kingdom Hearts or Lightning Returns, where every button press would actually result in a one-to-one movement.
Right. I think Nomura actually originally said it was going to have very similar battles to Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. So
and I love that you see the different environments.
Yeah.
So you've got desert environments and you've got these sort of lush green environments.
Yeah. We see an astral shard. We're not entirely sure what it is. You can see, you know, it seems something magical. Only one person in the car knows what it is. You can see it in the background here in the sort of Jurassic Park kind of moment. This is, yeah, super gorgeous. And you can tell a very different time of day. So
yeah, you got the sunset going on, so it's very super dramatic.
Yeah.
You see the water.
I don't know if it's pointing towards a sort of day and night cycle.
Well, I believe there is a night cycle actually coming up, and I think that's really cool.
So one thing I really love right here is something super small, but he gets out of the car, and just the sort of subtle animations of stretching, of, you know, how they shift their weight when they get out of their car. It adds so much personality.
Yeah, it's really realistic, and it sort of draws you in even more because it's not stilted.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, too cartoonish
It doesn't
or
feel
animated.
wooden at all, yeah. And so you have here, it looks like an airship invasion onto another kingdom.
That reminds me, that shot right there reminds me of something out of Final Fantasy 12.
12, absolutely, yeah. And you see, you know, there's some sort of futuristic-looking ships, but at the same time, the ship we're pulling out on looks like a classic Final Fantasy airship with sails and everything.
Yes.
You get some more road trip stuff going on here.
You can see how big the world is.
Yeah,
and
I
now they're in a
love
cave.
this. Love this. I love this sort of flashlight gameplay. It almost feels like weird, like you're spelunking, like in something like Silent Hill.
You totally have that vibe going in this scene.
You come across these spooky little goblins, which are actually modeled after the original art designs of goblins in Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which is super cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
And then again, you can see a different time of day, different area again.
Yeah, more combat. It seems like there's a lot of dodging. There's a lot of, like, you know, rolling, but also sort of just shifting your weight to get out of an enemy's way right here.
Yeah, I just saw him sort of spin around, which is a really cool effect.
And this is another cool thing that you see him do a few times. I don't know if there's a mode of traversal, but you know, also an attack, but he's able to throw his sword and then instantly appear to where it is.
Right, so he has a sort of warp, you know, he can transport from one teleport, excuse me.
We saw a ton of in the, this is sort of, for as cool and crazy as this is much more subdued than the E3 2013 trailer where he was fighting the Leviathan and everything was just insane and over the top. This is definitely sort of a more subtle approach to the story.
Right, and I love the starry background
Oh,
right
it's
here.
gorgeous.
That's so gorgeous.
So it seems they start talking about this girl named Luna in Alticia, and it seems like almost like this is the girl, this is who they're going after, this is the reason for the road trip, this is their ultimate destination, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. You see this seems almost dreamlike. You see this giant creature floating in the background.
That is so cool.
I mean, so what do you think's going on here? Why is this all red? Do you think this is some sort of a weird, like, dimensional shift, or is this a dream?
That was my original thought. Like, it's sort of like, you know, in Dragon Age, you go into the Fade, and it's like, is this a different dimension? Is this a different time? Could it also be that Noctis can see things in the realm of death?
That other people can't? Yeah.
Yeah, like he had some sort of traumatic experience when he was young, and so he can see different things, like he knows when someone's going to die, or he can see a mysterious light connected to the goddess of the dead, Etrio.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because this is still sort of dabbling in the same mythology as Final Fantasy 13 was, or it was originally part of that same Fabula Nova Crystallis.
Right, it was announced in 2006 along with Final Fantasy 13 and Agita, which then became Type 0.
Yep.
So they're all barely kind of related still, but...
and then speaking of Type 0, the Type 0's director is now the director of Final Fantasy 15. So, you know, Nomura, its previous director, has moved on to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes, which I think is a good thing for everyone.
I think that's great. Yeah, I think this is, you know, Type 0 and Crisis Core are both incredible games. So I think it's really cool that we're getting a new sort of breath of fresh air. So this is Luna, we're assuming. This is the Luna that they were talking about just moments ago, but there was another girl beforehand.
Yes, Stella Nox Fleuret?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Latin names.
There's a lot of names going on here, and we're not sure if this is a redesign of Stella or if this is Luna.
If this is, a different character, if they, completely sort of just got rid of Stella, or if this is someone else. And sort of Stella, it almost felt like was this Romeo and Juliet relationship with Noctis, where they had a thing going on, but they're on separate sides of this war, so they have to sort of be enemies. Here you got the cool, you know, using this not only in combat, but as a mode of traversal. And it's cool how, you know, you see these trucks, and then you see the water tower, and it seems like this awesome juxtaposition of, you know, things that are familiar with us, and then you'll see those giant creatures and bones, and it's something very different. It's really awesome. You see the huge rock in the background, so you get a sense of enormous scale in this game. Yeah, absolutely. Really cool things here. It's these subtle, you know, animations and abilities. It's almost like Noctis is in trouble, and then as he's dodging, his buddy sort of hops over his shoulder and takes out the enemy who's attacking him with the gun. Yeah, they're working together. They're not working separately. So here's another thing. His friend Ignis is helping him. Yeah, and as you can see, bottom right-hand corner, Noctis' health is super low, incredibly dire situations. Ignis is helping him out of the way. And then you get Prompto, the real muscle, coming with the sword, and pretty much the most badass thing ever is killing an innocent Yak.
Yeah, and you'll see that Noctis is still sort of limping because his health is still low, so it's consistent. He's not just standing there like, oh, I'm fine, even though my health is low. I like that continuity. I like that.
And I love just I mean, there's so much in this single moment. There's so much going on. Look at the character animations as he's rushing over. They get scared. They sort of back off.
Right.
A lot of personality. It shows like what kind of a character they are.
And even the environment continues to be dynamic. I mean, look how the grass is still moving. The dust is still in the air.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Super cool. More shots of the car.
Yeah, and see how the light is reflecting off the TV?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, the TV, the car. Whoops.
That's breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, this car does sort of, it's not exactly a real car, but you said it sort of looks like a Dodge.
I said Dodge Viper or something like that.
And the super cute sort of, wink nod of how it's been a long time coming, but we're almost there.
Yeah, I'll tell you how long it's been.
it's been 8 years.
Time.
It seems like they're aware of that. You have the awesome sort of prelude tune, that iconic Final Fantasy melody that's been, at the beginning of pretty much every Final Fantasy game ever.
Yeah, I like how it sort of ends on that note. And it comes full circle. So you've got the modern meets that, that crystal theme.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
And the car's license plate, I don't know if you can see it here, but it actually says Insomnia or Insomniac.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
And then there you go. You have the full logo for Final Fantasy 15. We'll be playing it hopefully early next year in the demo that comes with Type 0. I don't know if it comes with a voucher, so I don't know if that means day and date or if it's going to be like how Doom and Wolfenstein were, where it's like, hey, whenever it's ready, you'll be able to play it.
You're like, yeah, great.
Yeah, but in development, Xbox One, PS4. I know we're super excited.
I cannot wait for this game. I don't know about you, but whenever the release date is, it cannot come soon enough.
Absolutely. Megan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was our look at Final Fantasy 15. For everything else, Final Fantasy and Tokyo Game Show 2014, you're already in the right place. ign.com.
Woo!